Black leaders named Buddy Supermarket as one of 10 businesses that the boycott will focus on. That was announced today at a noon news conference at the Community Christian Church in East Fort Worth.
Even though it is recognized that race prejudice has shaped our history decisively and now threatens to affect our future, it should be known that according to all information that we have, that no disorders, no incidents are being planned or directed by any organization or group in the black community.
Will the boycott begin immediately or next
Wednesday?
Wednesday?
It has begun.
Well, why the next Wednesday date then?
Next Wednesday, the boycott will be intensified on all those businesses who have not come to us to proclaim that they are with us and they're going to take a stand to see that these demands are met. They have until next Wednesday to do this.
Has anybody come to you since the last press conference and sided with you on these demands?
The only people that come to us, like I stated earlier, is the city manager, Councilman Briscoe, and a Mr. Gordon, who's head of the public safety director.
But no merchants have come?
No merchants at all have come to us and, stated how they could help get these demands over.
We can be reached at the Malcolm X Black Culture Center, 1234 East Annie Street.
The city council and the mayor, in fact, just totally unaware of what's going on and what the problem here is.
What is the problem? What are you saying?
I'm saying that the problem is, and we've been dealing with this since the elections in July the 10th, when the 10 target area representatives were elected, and we were elected under an article in the bylaws that was passed by the Crossroads Center that spoke to a 20-member board, equal representation, 10 from the neighborhood and 10 appointed by the city of Dallas. After these 10 people were elected, the city council decided that they would pass an ordinance that would make up a board of 30 people. They would appoint 20, and then, of course, the 10 that was elected from the area would be seated also, which would not be equal representation on the board.
Inmates of the Dallas County Jail here at the new county courthouse have won the first round of their fight against male censorship. In action early this morning before federal judge Sarah T. Hughes, she issued an order telling attorneys for both sides in a case filed yesterday to draw up an order for her signature that would prohibit the censorship of incoming and outgoing mail here at the jail. Filed by Dallas Legal Services attorney Robert Byrd, the case is styled Joseph Taylor, James Douglas Thompson, Charles William Bruce, and John Henry Woods, Jr., individually on behalf of others similarly situated. They are inmates here at the jail, and it is a class action suit. It is filed against County Judge W.L. Sterrett, other commissioners of the county, Clarence Jones, Sheriff, E.L. Holman, Chief Jailer, and J.N. Pickard, County Health Officer. They are the defendants. Judge Hughes' action today simply means, in part, that it is ordered that these respondents or defendants may open and examine any mail coming into the jail addressed to inmates only to the extent of determining that said mail does not contain any dangerous or contraband materials or objects, and said respondents shall not read or delete any written matter therefrom. This order is good for 20 days, the maximum allowed for a temporary injunction. Judge Hughes, in asking that this order be drawn up by the attorney, said that she hoped a permanent injunction would not be necessary. At the Dallas County Courthouse, this is Jim Mitchell, Channel 8 News on the Move.
Well, I don't know. I think they've both done a good job, you know. I guess Martin has more experience, but it would just depend. I don't know. I guess Landry, I guess he used some system in picking them. I don't know. I would have picked Martin because he has more experience myself.
Well, I'm glad they finally got somebody in there that's going to be permanent. I think it'd be the best thing for the team. They have one man running the show.
Have you always felt that way?
Yes, sir, I have.
And you really don't care whether it's Morton or Staubach as long as he names a individual to run the team?
Well, I kind of prefer Staubach, but Craig Morton is a good quarterback.
What are your choices? Why do you prefer Roger over Craig?
I believe his pass record seems to me like he hit better on his passes and run the team a little bit better than Craig Morton.
How long have you been one?
Ever since they've been Cowboys.
Do you agree?
Since the Dallas Texans left.
Do you agree with Landry's decision to use Staubach?
I certainly do.
How do you feel Staubach is better than Morton?
I think that he's a better scrambler, and two, he can get the ball further and better. And he got the quickness to move. That's the way I feel about it.
Wholeheartedly.
Does your family support Staubach for quarterback also?
My husband supports Morton, but my two teenage boys and myself, I think we're for Staubach.
Was there any unusual discussion around the supper table last night when this was discovered?
Yeah, we were glad that he made a decision.
You feel it will help the Cowboys' destiny?
Yes, very much. Very much. I expect great things now.
Prior to entering the program, they must be accepted on a job. Jobs have been committed prior to them entering the program. The purpose of this, we have known for several programs where they have trained students, and upon completion is no job. So therefore, we have 21 students, as I mentioned earlier, in the program, 21 students to be trained and the jobs are already committed. This is the reason we have a very bare minimum of jobs at the present time.
Well, I think the freeze period has been very successful. And as to how effective the phase 2 will be, it just has to be decided. I cannot see where it will change very much, because even though the freeze ends the 13th, the decisions that have been passed down by the cost of living councils will remain in effect until it is changed by the price board, wage board, or the other boards.
Am I understanding you to say, sir, that actually the wage and price freeze will technically continue past the 13th on a case-by-case basis?
the rulings that have been passed out so far will remain in effect until it's changed by one of the boards.
Isn't it odd that President Nixon invited in 5 representatives from labor, 3 of them from the AFL-CIO, 2 of them from outside the AFL-CIO, and the teachers were not represented, and the teachers are one of the largest groups in the country. And they can continue to do it with impunity because we're disorganized, and only half the teachers in this nation feel any commitment to their profession at the national level. So in your state, for every teacher at the present time who is paying not only his money, but giving his interest to his profession at the national level, there are 3 who are not.
The 40 hours of instruction includes courses on judicial ethics, general aspects of criminal law, the penal code, and civil procedure. It's funded by a grant from the Texas Criminal Justice Council and sponsored by the Police Training Division of Texas A&M and the Area Councils of Governments. It's one of 5 being held across the state at this time, this one going on at the King's Inn here in Arlington. It seems to be a fight for survival. I talked with a host, Arlington JP John M. Forbes. Well, with the situation it is now, that there are some advocates of doing away with the justice of the peace system in the state of Texas, isn't this kind of like fighting for your life with this educational process?
Yes, sir. And I believe, of course, I'm prejudiced as Justice of the Peace, but I believe with our efforts now, we're not going to be legislated out of office, or the Constitution will not be changed as far as removing us from office, because we have a strong movement afoot to increase our educational background by our educational program that we now have and have had in the past, and now as a result of the grants made available to us, we have the best training program any state, to my knowledge, has ever had for justices of the peace.
About 2 years ago, they abolished the JP system in Oklahoma. It hasn't been enough time now for people to see how the judicial system functions without it. The JP system in the state of Texas is being threatened right now. And these people inside the King's Inn, as well as the other 4 cities where the seminars are taking place, are fighting for their survival and retention of what they believe in, the JP system in the state of Texas. Jerry Park, Channel 8 News on the Move, Arlington.
If all of this reminds you of a dance marathon of the 1930s, it's designed to do just that. But really there is a little bit more to it. It's a dance marathon put on by students at Southern Methodist University to raise money for the March of Dimes. We'll tell you the whole story here, but I'd like to introduce Betty Long, and Betty Long is featured vocalist for a group on the dais now called Westbound. You can't help but get involved with it, so Betty, let's tell the story as we get it on. Actually, what they're going to do, they're going to dance out here like this until 2 o'clock on Sunday morning. 31 hours. Each one of these couples out here is sponsored by a group at SMU. The group have promised that they'll pay so much money for every hour that they can laugh. I think I'm just about giving out, but we're going to try a little bit further and tell you that when the overall winner is named, that overall winner will receive a free trip to Greece. The second prize winner is going to get to fly around the city on a dinner flight. Concert tickets, movie passes, and all other sorts of things for everybody else. Oh, and I thank you for the stopping of the music. If you'd like to, come on out to the Umphrey Lee Student Center at SMU. You can watch this. It'll be going on until 2 o'clock Sunday morning. Betty, thank you very much. If you're old enough to remember the dance marathons of the 1930s, this should bring back a few memories. If you're not, come on out and see what it's like, or what it was like. They'll be dancing the Frug, the Watusi, also the Charleston and the Black Bottom. Jerry Park, Channel 8 News, on the move. Umphrey Lee Student Center at SMU.
Working for the man every night and day. Still I never lost a minute of sleep, and I was worried about the way the things.
It is with regret that the Crossroads Board has decided to cancel the dedication of the Crossroads Community Center scheduled for November the 5th and November the 6th. But we would like to express our appreciation to all of those who had made preparations to take part in this ceremony. There is no doubt that the Crossroads Community Center is at the present time and will be in the future a tremendous asset for the South Dallas community as well as all of the city. Rather than jeopardize the many good things that will originate at this center, we have decided to cancel this dedication.
Why was it decided to cancel the dedication? Was it because of pressure from the groups in that area?
No, it's just we think in the best judgment and in the best interest of the city to cancel the dedication because of the unpleasantness that had happened about the new board and about the structure of the new board until that can be decided by the council. I will suggest to the mayor this, yes, sir. I will suggest a special meeting of the council. I'm very grieved and sincerely disappointed as to the outcome of our meeting this morning. I tried to impress upon the 10 members-elect and the other people from the community that I felt encouraged that the council would adopt the 20-member board Monday. But I am now concerned of the reactions of the council members themselves as to the attitude that has been reflected this morning in this meeting. And I have tried on numerous occasions during the past 10 days to communicate this to this same segment of the community. I do not feel that this reflects the true feeling of the people in South Dallas.
It is difficult to maintain a national organization in education when there really has not been very much of a national function in education. What we have done in the history of our school system is to assume that if the local and state governmental agencies identify their goals and objectives in education, that aggregate equals the nation's goals. And that has us in trouble. Because we, the wealthiest nation in this country, are faced with a situation where the nation's goals are not being attacked by the public school system. And until we change that and establish a role for the federal government in education that is compatible with the kinds of decisions that should and must be made at the local level and those made at the state level, we're going to continue to be in trouble.